Da 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 da. All right, now if everybody is really nice to me, I'll offer up a face reveal. How about that? Okay, so Wilwa, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Thorman, this is your first Killbot stream. Well, that's lovely. That's lovely. Biggie Cheese GT. Well, that's lovely, ain't it? Oh my freaking goodness. Okay, is everybody real nice? Are you ready? Are you ready for my face reveal? There it is! The paper's done! All right, everybody, welcome to another Killbot stream. This is the first one since February, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yes, all sorts of fun shit's happened. All sorts of fun comedic stuff, tragic stuff, whatever. Hey, here we are. Here we are to talk about our personal lives. You know? I communicate with you, you communicate with me. It's a dialogue. That's a Rad Majesty song, a dialogue. I like that song, and I like that band, too. So, let's get on with it, shall we? First of all, we've got dew from the mountain. Yeah. Smells like bliss. You know? You ever smell something and it gives you bliss? Pizza, Mountain Dew, pussy. Okay. Killbot's alive. Okay. Now let's see. Andrew Gabriel. Hello, Killbot. What's going on? I'm trying to click on you. Yeah. Excellent. Just chilling, man. Perfect timing. Just finished smoking a J in the parking lot waiting for your friend. Well, ain't that cute? You're going to be sky high in a minute. I'm curious to see what kind of creative ideas you come up with. Metal Manic, hey, as always, you're always at these streams on the dot, man. Now, we're going to put one of these obituary koozies on this because it keeps it that much colder. In the words of Odorous Urungus. Speaking of which, it was 10 years a couple weeks ago that he had passed. March 23rd marked the 10-year anniversary without Odorous Urungus, so hail Odorous. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Casey Orr was the only one in the whole band that posted anything about it. I'm surprised that the band didn't post about it, because that's a pretty monumental landmark as far as the passage of time goes. God, I still remember when I got the news. Actually, I was in a gym in college. I was taking a gym course, and my mother sent me the news. She texted me saying, hey, Odorous died. I was distraught the whole day. One of the few celebrities I've ever felt anything with when they died. Let's see, Bill Rieflin was one. Lemmy Kilmister was another. Eddie Van Halen. I was pretty torn up about him too, but Dave's case felt wrong. You know, like, it felt like he wasn't supposed to die, because the last interview he ever did, he was talking about, don't do heroin, kids, it'll ruin your life. Whatever. Eric Cartman, Killbot, you waited till 1 a.m. for this. Well, how about dedication? Awesome, dude. Thank you. Welcome to the stream, talking about Slipknot. Hey, how you doing, man? Thorman666, I have to say, you're one of my favorite YouTubers. You inspire me to make music and grind it. I inspire you. Thank you so much. Well, hopefully that means that you like my music as well. The latest song was Downstream. It is a goth and metal hybrid, and is about basically not being a total asshole to people when they're already down or dead, depending on how you interpret it. Liquid Moonlight, what do you think of Gary Newman's music? Hey, it inspired Nine Inch Nails, so that automatically gets my respect. We're in the building where they make us grow, and frightened by the liquid engineers like you. Da-na-na, da-na-na. You could use some dude. What, you didn't have any already? What the fuck? SpongeBob says hello. Gregor Borgeson Ways. Hi, how you doing? I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. Foxifer. Hey, Foxifer as always. Foxifer in the house. Lovely. Okay, we're gonna lower this a bit so that way I can probably see any super chats, if any. Every time I see Mountain Dew, all I think of is you, from Ricardo Saucedo. That kind of reminds me of that Ramones song. Every time I eat vegetables, it makes me think of you. It reminds me when I was 15, 16, girlfriend I had, you know, all you can do, you know, you can't sleep over at their house or anything. So all you can do is text every day. And one day I decided to be cute. I said, hey, you know, there's a Ramones song called Every Time I Eat Vegetables, It Makes Me Think of You. Well, every time I eat sweets or candy, it makes me think of you. That went down well. Oh, I did have a very recent experience. So there's someone that I'm hoping to get to know better in the coming weeks or so, and we have a mutual liking already as is. But I visited a candy store recently, and to be cute, I took a picture of the selection they had, and I sent it to her. I said, hey, so I visited a candy store today. You know, it had an okay selection, but I had to complain. You know why? Why is that? Because they advertised having the best sweets, and you were missing. Oh yes, that's gonna be a good one. Okay, for some reason the mouse isn't clicking on anything. I'm trying to get a new laptop anyway. You know why? Because the speaker's blue, and of course the website shit the bed on me. Great. Kind of like how my parents gave up on me. My laptop's given up on me too. Hey, it wouldn't be a Killbot stream without some of that crap. Okay, well, it looks like I can rejoin. Okay, cool. Hey, we got a super chat. Fuck yeah, from Captain Casual, $2.73. Thank you so much. That'll help towards getting a new laptop. Familiar with a band named October Noir? No, I am not. Reminds me of Typo Negative. Typo Negative, you know. You know, there's a band I've been listening to for a while, but I just bought their whole catalog on Bandcamp. Here's the cool thing. The band is Lycia. They're an old school darkwave band, and you can buy their entire catalog on Bandcamp for $1. I gave them $5, but they have an album. They have an album that Peter Steele was like, oh yes, there's a band called Lycia, a totally gothic band. You know, they have an album that's called A Day in the Stock Corner, and we're hoping that our next album's gonna sound like that. Which the next Typo album by that point would have been October Rust. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, let's get back to these comments before Max Possum. What do you think about Rush? I was listening to Rush earlier today. Leaf Eater 420, what's up, man? Hanging. How about you, man? Benjamin Kovac, did you try the new Baja Laguna Lemonade Dew flavor? No, I think I tried the one that came before it, though. That's the nice thing about Mountain Dew, is they're always coming up with these new flavors. Andrew Gabriel likes that last video, by the way. He made some great points. You know, that's a video I should have made years ago. And I don't know why I've been putting it off, but these are all thoughts that have been brewing in my head for the last several years. Like, I'd get messages constantly from people messaging, usually younger fans. They're like, hey, is it okay to wear a shirt for this if I like this band? Is it okay to like this if I'm a metalhead? Is it okay to listen to other bands? Is it okay to this? Is it okay to that? And I always say, look, just do what you want. You know, metal is supposed to be about nonconformity. You know, I feel like a lot of people just don't understand that. Or they haven't gotten to that point yet. But metal, the whole ethos of metal is supposed to be about doing your own thing. And so was punk at one time. I'm sure I'm going to get a few funny comments for that one. But it's true, though. You know, a lot of people get attracted to groupthink. the nonconformists build their own conformity. Like, they want diversity, but they want diversity in their own way. And if you don't match their ideas of diversity, that's it, man. You're a sellout or whatever the hell else they want to call you. But the whole point I've been trying to preach about the channel over the years is just individuality. Like whatever you want to like. I've got fucking Deicide and Guar and High on Fire and Hemorrhage in my collection. I also have Tori Amos and the Gorillas in my collection. So there you go. I even have a Charles Mingus record in there somewhere. So hey, it's just but it is really cool about the last video, the last two videos really, because the Pantera video and this video, both videos were shot and completely edited in one day. Okay, now I may have spent 2-3 days writing them, but the turnaround time for them was insanely quick. As opposed to videos like the Skinny Puppy video or the Agalok video where, there have been weeks labored over them and they hardly got any views. Well, the Skinny Puppy video hardly got any views anyway. But these videos, I worked little time on them in comparison, and they got huge views. It's nice that the videos are getting views again, but also, the Skinny Puppy video, that came out in January, and historically, December and January are the worst times ever to upload to YouTube. It's usually February, March, April when things start to pick back up. And, the last I looked, the last video was at 9,500 views or something. I don't know. But it warmed my heart, and all the cool people are watching. For instance, John Hahn messaged me out of the blue, and he said that he liked my video. So that was nice. I think after the fact, it occurred to me, wait a minute, I mentioned Agalok in the video. I said a line something to the effect of, the pop music crowd wouldn't understand the spiritual catharsis of an Agalok show. I think he appreciated that. Biggie Cheese GC. It's been a while since I was watching a Killbot stream. Well, it's been a while since I've done one. The last one I did was February. Trying to kind of space them out a little bit. Eric Hartman, do you have any tips about collecting CDs? Catalog them on Discogs. Because when you grow a large collection like I have, it's underrated how easy it is to forget what you have. Fortunately, I've never bought doubles, and that's only because I've cataloged them. And every time I'm out shopping somewhere, I usually do a little research with my phone before I make a purchase. Some weird nerd. You make my days better. Love you. Oh, thank you. Andrew Gabriel. Speaking of goth metal hybrids, I was actually listening to Lacuna Coil before this stream. They are coming to Charlotte on May 7th, I think. I believe they're coming on the same day that High on Fire is coming to Greensboro. That's going to be good. My friend Murphy is going to be teching for them, so I want to go see them, but that's ultimately going to depend on finances. My upcoming show to see Swans on Sunday in Richmond, that's going to be expensive in gasoline alone. Now, Richmond, when I'm out of town, I usually do good about not spending a whole lot, but it's the gasoline that kills me. And in this case, it is a 3-hour drive each way. That's going to hurt. See, the problem isn't the drive there. It's the drive home. You got to make sure that you're stopping at gas stations and doing something to keep yourself awake for that drive because, man, that drive sucks. I've done it 3 times to my recollection, so there you go. Actually, the last time I was in Richmond, that was the Golan Municipal Waste Show, and I had a friend carpool with me. And that was still difficult. Like, we were taking turns, but both of us were getting tired and fucking taking turns driving for each other. So, there you go. Nicholas Cawley, what's your opinion on the Heritage by Protector? Never heard of it. Colonel Stinkmeter, just saw Death Clock this week and they were brutal. Well, that's lovely. Hopefully I can see them someday. Jordan Strang, they're effectively Typo 2.0 in response to the October Noir question. Yeah, I figured with a name like that. Probably would be. Ian, hello, Tony. Hey, how you doing? Jesus built my guitar tabs. Any good grindcore bands to check out? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Terrorizer, World Downfall. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. There's Peg Destroyer, obviously. There's Anal Cunt. Yeah, so good. And let's see, there's Nasm, there's Discordance Axis, there's so many bands, so many good ones. The Siege, if you call them grindcore, but we're talking old school grind. You know, you get bands like Magruder Grind and Fuck the Facts and all those lovely bands that showed up on Relapse's This Comp Kills Fascist volumes, both of them. Unholy Terror, if you're into that type of thing, they bridge the gap between grind and noise, I think. And debatably, they're also a quantity over quality type of band. Like, they release a bunch of stuff. But good luck remembering an Unholy Terror song. I don't mean to throw shade. I've been listening to them since I was 14, but it is what it is. They're Japanese, by the way. Eric Hoff, how to deal with people making fun of you for being different. Usually mooning them. Pulling out your penis, waving it around in a helicopter fashion. Flipping them the bird. Telling them you're going to put a spell on them. Spitting on them. Hitting them. Stabbing them. Shooting them. Okay, don't do any of those things. But just, you know, just remember that they're not happy themselves because they want to put down others. And that's because, you know, they're not totally satisfied with themselves. So they got to put other people down to make themselves feel better, you know? I know that this is a old explanation for bullying, but that's pretty much what it is. You know, there's a crowd out there for everybody. Go find yours. Pete Knox, what's going on, man? Astum, ever been to the Hangar 1819? I was there to see Crypta about 2 months ago. It was really fun. Actually, that was the first time I'd been there since they renamed it. The owner apparently was like disposing of evidence in a shooting that happened in the parking lot or something, and there was a massive amount of community backlash, and the building changed ownership. Now, the owner, just to be fair here, the owner says that that's not exactly how that went down. I've spoken to a couple people who worked there personally, and they said a couple shady things about him. So I'm not going to say that he's an angel. It doesn't matter anyway. The building's under new management. And so is the Maywood, if anyone is from North Carolina and remembers that the Maywood closed during COVID. Well, now it's reopened as Chapel of Bones. I haven't been there yet, but maybe someday. I see you, baby, shaking that ass, shaking that ass, shaking that ass. See, now, I posted on Instagram that I was going to sing that earlier, and here I am, fulfilling my promise. There you go. Now I just need a stripper pole, maybe a G-string. By the way, for $10, I'll take my shirt off. Okay, so, Andrew Gabriel, I need to get back into industrial music. So many great bands in that stratosphere. Earlier today, I was listening to a band called I Parasite, and the album is called On This Cold Floor. It's a pretty fucked up and twisted album. Maybe not so much musically, like the sound design's pretty out there, but the lyrics are an emotional roller coaster. They were from New York, and they are on Bandcamp, so be sure to check that shit out. Nicholas Colai, what city are you from? I'm from Elon, North Carolina, unfortunately. Have you ever fallen asleep to extreme metal? Benjamin Kovac. I've used Tool's Third Eye to fall asleep. I've also fallen asleep listening to Sleep's Dope Smoker. Anyone who's listened to that album can see that it's not a hard task if you're not already awake. So there you go. Max Possum, what bass do you have? I remember seeing it in a video a while ago. I own a PV Millennium BXP. PV Millennium BXP. I love this thing, man. I bought this, well, actually, sorry, my mom bought this for me back in 2008. And it's got 5 knobs, which I don't really need. I thought it was cool at the time, but you know what? Still, it was a cheap bass. And I still play the shit out of it. Points to anybody who can guess which Abscess song that is. Actually, I'm thinking the next song I do probably isn't going to have any bass. It's probably going to have just some synth bass. This Behringer Pro 1 right here will probably be enough. Like, I'm trying to think that maybe I should do something like what David Wise did with the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack. And let me make sure that this isn't getting interrupted anywhere. No, it isn't. Okay, cool. Colonel Statemere, do you plan on going to a festival in the future? I'm tempted with Agalock doing Maryland Death Fest now. I mean, the only reason I haven't done it, it's not that the tickets are expensive. The tickets are fair for what they are. It's more lodging. Oh, boy. Like, I would have to share a room with a couple different people to be able to go to that. But also, I'm just not a festival person, really. I hate having to miss bands because some other band is playing that I would rather see, you know. Also, like, when bands play festivals, usually the performances are kind of rushed because they know that there are a million bands coming on after them. So I'd rather see a band play its own gig and they can focus all their energy into the performance. There's this show coming up. Exhumed is getting ready to go on tour. They're playing Raleigh, and originally they were going to play Kings. It got moved to Chapel of Bones, and a few more bands got added to the bill. Incantation, Ringworm, a few other bands. And those are all good bands. I'm going to have to tap out of this one. Like, you guys have fun with the gig, but at that point, I think it's 8 bands I counted on the bill. At some point, it's too much. Because by the time I get to the last band, I'm beat to hell. Like, I like all those bands, but, like, at some point, enough bands is enough bands. Fuck, back in 2015, I saw DRI, Ghoul, Necrofilth, and, like, 4 local punk bands, and they were all good bands, but by the time DRI got on stage, I was tired, and then DRI played for 2 hours. I mean, it's just too much, you know? Summer Slaughter, 2016. Cannibal Corpse got on stage, and fuck, man, there were 10 bands playing that day, and by the time Cannibal got on, fucking everybody was beat to hell, tired. Even George was like, you guys sound tired, and it sounds shitty. I want to hear your fucking voices, you know. All right, let's go to some of the newer comments. Grindcore Enjoyer, where'd you get that Tank Crimes poster? I got this in 2016, and I believe it came with the Dungeon Bastards album. Now, that new Necrod album's coming out. It came out today, actually. I pre-ordered mine. It should be here in the next couple days, hopefully. And if you order the vinyl for it, I believe it comes with posters. So, yeah, something to look forward to. I'm not a vinyl guy anymore, but... And actually, if any of you notice, I actually sent off my turntable to a certain someone who may or may not be watching the stream right now, but yeah, that's how often I play records, is never. So I figured, why have it sitting around? There's a guy I know who needs another turntable, one that's actually good and not one of those cheap, shitty Crosley ones. And he's got expensive, rare records. And he sent me a picture of the turntable he has. I'm like, oh no, please tell me you've only played your records on those once. Okay, let me send you mine. You can give me the money for it later. Just, you know. It was a good turntable too. So that means that I have a few records that I'm going to sell, if anyone's interested, I guess. I have a couple of them listed on eBay. Let's see. So, Bathory's first album, that's going to go to him. Fucking Bathory's second album's on eBay, and that's... we're going to see where that goes. Let's see. Lords of Acid, Pretty and Kink. This is the Kickstarter edition. 300 copies made. That's going to go to my friend, too. But yeah, we got Ghouls Hang 10. We've got AC/DC, Back in Black. We've got Death Piggy, Welcome to the Record. We have an autographed copy of Midnight Shocks of Violence. I might actually keep that one, just because it's autographed. And we got Skull X, Torn from Beyond. Fucking awesome doom metal. Awesome doom metal that two friends of mine play on. So there you go. We'll see. And I got a few CDs I'm trying to purge too, because it's more about quality rather than quantity. And did I mention I need a new laptop? Yeah, there's that. Embrace the Death. Favorite band of the Swedish Big Four. Define Swedish Big Four. Like, if you're talking about, I don't know, just define it for me. Brian Gregory, absolutely love your videos about industrial music and the Ministry ones as well. Thanks, dude. Thank you so much. Hopefully you saw the Skinny Puppy ones as well. I plan on doing one for Skinny Puppies, The Process, later on this year, hopefully. I'm not exactly motivated to do it because every time I do videos like that, nobody watches them. So there you go. Like, it'll be a passion project that I'm just going to have to put personal time and effort into. You know what I mean? I'll get to it, though. Like, I bought a cassette tape for The Process just to film for the video and then just sold it. So there you go. Like, I have the footage for it. That's just... Coconuts Meme, do you have a favorite Darkthrone album? Blaze and then Panzerfaust. Those were the first two I ever bought and the first two that I ever heard. And they still stuck with me in my heart. So every time it snows, I usually have some Darkthrone playing. May Credible, hey, always showing up to the streams. You rule. Jesus built my guitar tabs. For how often you take your shirt off, I'm surprised you don't already own a strip. Hey, the offer still stands. If anybody wants to give me $10, I'll take my shirt off. I don't care. All right, reading more comments. Okay, so let's talk about greed, okay? Let's talk about this little thing that just happened. So the cosplayer community, they're known to be master seamstresses, okay? They're known to thrift shop and sew together and cut up and put cool things together with cheap clothing articles and fabrics. Fast fashion is cool sometimes. Ready-made clothes is cool sometimes. But sometimes it's not the first option because a lot of those people are pretty creative. Well, there's this married couple that I met at Goth Night about a month ago. Well, I'd say late February. So I met this married couple. We started following each other on social media. And we didn't talk much, but, you know, we were friendly with each other. We were committed to getting to know each other a little more. And I saw them at the last Goth Night a few weeks ago. And then I left about 5 minutes later because I was just bored out of my mind. But anyway, we messaged the next day saying, hey, it was great to see you, blah, blah, blah. And we were talking about something and got sidetracked, I guess. And the wife didn't message me for a few days. And then a few days later, after not answering my messages for a while, she messaged out of the blue. She said, hey, Killbot, so I'm starting this Ko-Fi page. And for those who don't know, Ko-Fi is like this GoFundMe thing, I guess. I've started this Ko-Fi page for this outfit that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to surprise my husband with it. And it's going to cost a lot. And the only way I can make it happen is if people give me a couple dollars here and there. And I know it's awkward asking somebody like you for money, but you know, even if you don't want to give anything, that's totally fine. No pressure. You can always share it on your page or share it among friends if you'd like. And I just gave her an excuse like, oh, well, my credit's bad, whatever. But then it occurred to me, she addressed me as Killbot. I definitely told her my real name when I met both of them. I was like, "Hey, I'm Tony. How you doing?" and so I messaged her back. I said, "Hey, so just by any chance, do you happen to remember my first name?" She said, "Nope, sorry." I unfollowed both of them. Okay, if you're going to ask somebody for money for your hobbies that you just met maybe a month ago, give them the courtesy of remembering their fucking name. And in this case, we were messaging on Instagram. All she had to do was look at my page and she would have seen my name in the description. I'm Tony, YouTuber, music collector. I was on the guest list for Skinny Puppy 6 times. That's all she would have had to do. She would have saved herself the embarrassment, but no. Also, funding for hobbies? Hobbies! Goodness, like, I could understand if it was a medical bill or a car repair or if you lost your job or something. But funding hobbies. Come on now. Like, I thought you cosplayers were supposed to be able to make magic out of cheap items. Shit, if we're funding hobbies, what have I been doing paying for my own concert tickets for all these years? Even for bands that I know personally, I don't dare ask to get on the guest list. Usually they volunteer it. But shit, what am I doing? Next time Guar tours, I should just go, "Hey guys, Guar's coming to Greensboro. In order to make this happen, you should donate to my Ko-Fi page. That way I can go. Oh, be sure to throw in a little extra for gas, and I might want a shirt too, so cough it up, bitches." I just couldn't believe that, you know? I mean, and the thing is, there were things about them that I thought were cute at first, but then that happened, and in retrospect, those things that I thought were cute seemed immature suddenly, so it seems like I dodged a bullet there. And when I met them, they both said, "Oh yeah, we don't have many friends," and suddenly, and I didn't remember that until that happened, and I was like, yeah, that's probably why. Modern Modder. Tony, did you hear about Nails working on a new album? How do you think it'll sound? Hopefully it'll sound real good. I think Atticus Ross being part of the fold has made Trent a great composer. He's more prolific now. I'm definitely excited to see what they come up with. They have a new production company now called With the Teeth. So we're going to see what comes out of that. I think they're trying to like do clothing lines and merch or something. I don't know. But hey, some people don't like the new stuff. I love the new stuff. So there you go. Biggie Cheese GT. How many records do you have now? Less than 12, if we're talking about LPs. Killbot, I've joined a band called Paint Liquor. What do you think of the name? We play punk. Well, it sounds like a punk rock name. Punk on, dude. Denisha, what's up? What's happening? Glad you can make it. Dusk for a cool bolt thrower poster. Thank you. That was gifted to me by Joe Bench herself as a thank you for doing the bolt thrower video back in 2017. One of the greatest gifts I ever got doing metal. We carried on a 2-week email correspondence. She sent me a couple shirts. She kept sending me some stickers. Super nice woman. Super nice. She doesn't really have an online profile these days, so I hope that her and her bandmates are doing wonderful, because I never forgot it. Okay, there's got to be like a delay on these comments or something, because... Camden White, what do you listen to when it rains? Usually industrial, sometimes goth rock, sometimes Pantera, because of the song Floods. That was another video. That was good, because that video, Why the Great Southern Trendkill is Pantera's magnum opus. That video got 16,000 views. That's a good number for a video like that. And, you know, it was written in a way where even if you disagreed with the video, you could still get something out of it. And I didn't expect quite the praise that I got for it, because Pantera's fan base, I've dealt with them in the past on one of my past videos, and they were not very pleasant to deal with. So it's nice that they were pleasant this time around. And actually, that's part of what inspired the "When Fan Bases Suck" video. Because in my head, I was thinking mainly about the Byrne fan base and the Pantera fan base. Those are the two worst fan bases I've dealt with doing YouTube since 2015, talking about hundreds of bands. Also, the Metallica fan base. Like, they're not bad necessarily, but they're the most kiss-ass fan base ever. Like, they blindly worship anything and everything Metallica does, and they think that nothing else nothing else is as good. Oh, Metallica. I'm not even kidding. I do these videos on my CD collection, and people go, but where's all your Metallica? Like, they're totally ignoring the 1,300 amazing CDs that I have, full of all these awesome obscure bands and these life-changing bands like Agalloch, The Cure, Skinny Puppy, Bolt Thrower, Nile, fucking Immolation, all these amazing bands, and all they can think about is, oh, Metallica? Anyway. Coconut's meme. Following up to the Dark Throne thing, do you have any band or album recs for someone trying to get into black metal? Satyricon, Nemesis Divina is pretty amazing. I guess Evoken wouldn't be black metal, would they? Actually, I'm thinking about selling my Lestravi CD too while I'm at it. Anybody here remember Lestravi? I do. I saw him live. It's a good album. Unfortunately, those days are over for me. Yeah, there's some stuff I listen to, or that I used to listen to, that just brings back bad memories because of the place I was in my life, etc. So, yeah. Would the shirt stay off for the rest of the stream if someone donates $10? Okay, we're still not at that point yet. Okay. Okay, for $10, the shirt will be off for 10 minutes. For $30, it'll be off for the rest of the stream. Let's make it spicy. Is only the shirt coming off? Well, it's not like you can see anything below it. Like, I can take my shoes off and you wouldn't even know. Yes, I do have shoes on right now. And none of you knew that. None of you knew that. But McClough, what bands have put you on the guest list? Good question. Let's see. Because I was walking in with someone who worked with these bands, I got in early and got on the guest list for Druid Lord. That was one. Ghoul's another. They put me on the guest list for their 2017 show. Got on the guest list for Skinny Puppy. Got on the guest list for X-Order. I know there's got to be one more. Because I don't... Here's the thing. It is rude to ask bands to put you on the guest list. So sometimes, like, if I know the bands personally, I'll message them and tell them I'm coming. And sometimes they'll volunteer. They're like, hey, we'll put you on the list. Really? Okay, cool. Oh, Obituary put me on the guest list. That's right, because Ken put me on the guest list because he likes that video review I did on their last album. That was really nice of him. He did not have to do that. It was so nice of him. Incredible. I've been slowly slipping into industrial and goth music after being intimidated by it for a while. I've been missing out. Oh, intimidated. Intimidated how? By the amount of stuff there is to listen to? Plenty of great stuff. A lot of it's wonderful. Check out The Wake. They have a song. They have an album called Masked, I think. There's Rosetta Stone and Eye for the Main Chance. Obviously, the big ones like Susie, The Cure, etc. I'm a huge Fields of the Nephilim guy myself. Switchblade Symphony's first album's pretty amazing. Fucking The Frozen Autumn. Wonderful band. Twin Tribes, they're a newer band. Drab Majesty, probably my favorite band of the last decade. So there you go. Ritual Howls, I think, are goth. Wait a minute. Ritual Howls. It's been a while since I've listened to them, so. Evokes dark energies through the western sunset. Industrial rock, yeah. Industrial rock, post-apocalyptic, that's what. Yeah, go listen to Ritual Howls. I don't care what genre they are, just go listen to them. You know, and if we're talking old school goth, you could go Alien Sex Fiend, Specimen, Sex Gang Children. Yeah, they're all sex related names, I guess. Spirit alert! You have a bee on your head. Oh yeah, this driver, it added 10 yards to my swing. Hey, take it, because I already have one, and Mr. Williams over here, he doesn't play. Isn't that right? Stupid the fucking game. Okay, so I promised you guys a candy bar if you join the live stream. Well, here's the candy bar. You like Crunch Bars? I hope you do, because that's what you're getting. And if you don't like it, save some for the rest of us. You know that? Sharing is caring. So you see this Crunch Bar right here? There you go. You want it? You want it, don't you? Yeah, I know at least one of you tried to grab the screen to take it as I was saying it. Like, knowing in vain you weren't going to get it. But, see that? I mean, your Crunch Bar right in front of you. I see a $10 super chat. What's up, Tony? 22nd birthday. Been watching you since I was 13 if you want to feel old. Got pizza with my parents tonight, but I'm going to go to Goth night tomorrow night. Going to be flames. Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much. And hey, $10. A promise is a promise. $10 for 10 minutes. I'm a cheap-ass hoe. It is 6:42 right now, so at 6:52 the shirt goes back on. Now, if anybody wants a shirt to stay off, that'll be $30, please. But thank you, Daxy Betrayal. Have fun at Goth Night. I went to one a couple weeks ago, and I think I'm going to be skipping out on the next one or two because that DJ plays the same goddamn set every time I go. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. I love going to that club, but at some point, when I can walk in there and predict what fucking songs are going to be played next, that's a problem. I should be a DJ, for fuck's sake. Why am I not a DJ? I could totally do that. Caleb, hi, what's going on? All right, Metal Manic. Killbot, your Drab Majesty shirt looks like the WrestleMania logo. I just now noticed that. Well, let's say that in the Ultimate Warrior voice. Your Drab Majesty shirt looks like the WrestleMania logo. And I never noticed Hulk Hogan. You should listen to Darkwave. I was talking to somebody on Instagram recently. I was trying to cheer them up, and I was just like, hey, so what if Randy Savage Macho Man was singing Dead Souls? Oh, they keep calling me. Brother, take these dreams away. That point me away from the Slim Jim. My first exposure to Randy Savage was the Spider-Man movie from 20 years ago. My parents knew who he was because wrestling was cool back then. And then he gets up there and he fights Spider-Man. He goes, "Bonesaw is ready." What are you doing up there? Staying away from you. That's a cute outfit. Did your husband make it for you? And then you get older and you watch that movie and you notice all the little things, like when when Norman Osborn offers Peter a job, and Willem Dafoe looks at Tobey Maguire, he's like, just absolute wonder in his face. And then, at the end of the movie, when the Green Goblin blows up the bridge, he sings a fucking nursery rhyme and nobody's around to hear it. So he's just singing for his own amusement. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Out came the goblin and washed the spider out. That's a villain for you right there. He's got a song in his heart. Oh, man. Okay. Patriarch. Hi, Tony. Hey, how you doing? Denisha Freeman says you'll take the Lestrabi album. Well, send me a message after this is over. And if anybody is interested in any of the records that I am selling, then please send me a message on my social media pages, because I gotta get rid of them. I gotta find mailers for them, preferably. I can send them without mailers, but I'll be in Richmond this weekend, so I'll visit some record stores, see if I can find a way to mail them easily and classy and convenient, just for you. The last record I played was 9 Inch Nails' The Fragile. And as much as I love that album, it's one of my favorite albums of all time. The thing about listening to records, you have to sit in one place to listen to them. And for me, I just prefer to be moving when I listen to music. Exercise, movement, doing a word search, walking around, playing a video game, whatever. But me sitting on a couch, making sure that I'm perfectly in line with these speakers to get the optimum sound quality, that just... Fuck that shit. Bob McClough, Skinny Puppy will be sick. I got put on the guest list for Chelsea Wolf. Well, that's lovely. That's lovely. Okay, let's see about these newer comments. Make Credible. I like the way you recommend music. Full list, no crap. Well, thank you. That's a compliment. 2000 Spider-Man was the best Spidey boy. Nobody can change my mind. From Mr. Godzilla. I agree. I saw it in the theater at 7 years old, and it was one of the best theater experiences I ever had. I saw it twice. No, I saw it 3 times in the theater, actually. And you know what? It warms my heart when I go to Barnes & Noble and I see magazines that have Tobey's Spider-Man on the cover, and I see these 20th anniversary vinyl soundtracks of that Spider-Man movie. It just warms my heart that people still love that movie. Yeah, the effects look shitty. They looked shitty back then too, but nobody minded. It was Spider-Man, And then there's the slightly inflammatory line about, that's a cute outfit. Did your husband make it for you? People get really upset about that line now, but it was 2002. And you know what else a sign of 2002 was at the end of the movie when the New Yorkers were on the bridge, they're throwing stuff at the Green Goblin. Oh, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. It was after 9/11. Like, you remember in the movie how there wasn't really a big reveal about Spider-Man becoming a thing. He's just kind of there. Well, there was a deleted scene in the movie where he's supposed to stop some bank robbers that are escaping in a helicopter. Well, he traps them in a web between the 2 towers. Well, 9/11 happened, and, well, naturally, they couldn't include that in the movie anymore. So, the way they fixed it was he was just kind of around when he turned into Spider-Man. So there you go. Do you have any favorite Black and Thrash albums? I guess Midnight would count as Black and Thrash. What about Celtic Frost? Because if Celtic Frost falls in that category, then I would dare say 2 Megatherion. The battle is over. It's so good. Biggie Cheese, what are your thoughts on Cannibal Corpse's recent album, Chaos Horrific? It's Cannibal Corpse. I mean, I like that they down-tuned it, but now I buy albums by them, and I know exactly what I'm going to get. I have no surprises with any of them anymore. Which is kind of influencing my concert ticket purchases and my album purchases lately, is I want stuff that's going to surprise me. Because if I know what I'm going to get ahead of time, I don't care. It's like the last couple of Autopsy albums, they're the same fucking thing. I don't care. So, yeah, these bands, they tour over and over and over. Cannibal Corpse, Amon Amarth, and they're great bands. They put on great shows. I've seen them already several times. So, yeah, it's time for me to focus on bands that I haven't seen. You know, like X-Order. They just put out their first album without Vinny and Marzi. And I heard mixed things about it. But honestly, I didn't even like the one before that. So, you know, like X-Order, nothing beat the excitement of seeing X-Order for the first time after they had been broken up for several years. There was electricity in that room. That night was so magical. Those first 2 nights in New York were so magical. I saw X-Order 6 or 7 times. I can't remember. But I saw them that many times, and as much as I wanted that magic of those first 2 nights to come back, it just wasn't there. And they always put on a great show. It was different, you know? Bands to me are really a time and place. You know, I listen to X-Order, and I think of 2018 and loving them back then, and thinking about who I was and what was going on in my life at the time. It's 6:52, shirt goes back on. And that's really all there is to it. And you know what? It's coming up. Sunday will be the 1-year anniversary of me seeing Skinny Puppy the first time. It already passed as the anniversary of them starting their tour, their first tour in 7 years, however long it had been. And Skinny Puppy, in a few years, when I think of them, I'm going to think of last year, seeing them 8 times. You know, I have fond memories with that band. I miss them. I still listen to them constantly. I mean, nothing beats. Like, each time I saw them, all 8 times, nothing beat just watching those guys get on stage, Kevin testing out his synths, turning them on, making sure they're working, just making them fucking squeal and squelch and shit before the music starts. And then Ogre behind the curtain, fucking VX gas attack. The Iranians killed 4,000 civilians. Welcome to the VX gas attack. Bethlehem. Bethlehem. The music kicks in and you hear that left and right. Fucking badass as hell, man. Like, I've always liked that song, but hearing it live, loud, and those fucking big speakers, just, God, I miss them. Leaf Eater, yo, Killbot, I'm staying up late for this. Well, that's good, man. That's great. Mr. Godzilla, Kyle from X-Order admitted in a recent interview that he quit listening to metal after 1994, and he's only in it for the money. They put on a great show in Boston, but album-wise, yeah. Are you sure about that? Because he did Floodgate, he did Pits vs. Preps, which was a project he did with Ralph Santola. And as far as I know, he's good with the Crowbar guys. I mean, I'd like to read this interview if you don't mind sending that to me somewhere. But, yeah. How much for you to recreate the Oh Hey Just About to Go to Bed video? I don't know what video you're referring to, bud. Have my final week of high school next week. I get Thursday and Friday off, just my exams after that. Well, hey, congratulations. And remember, it's all uphill from here. You know, a lot of these baby boomers will say that high school are the best years of your life, carefree and everything. No. No. My life got so much better in my 20s. It's like a second lifetime. You know? Like, people have this finite idea of, you know, you're only allowed to be happy while you're young. Because, yes, life does fuck you in the ass harder and harder the older you get. But, you know, you choose your destiny. You know, a lot of people peak in high school, and you don't have to. If you're not striving to improve and have fun with your life, you're doing it wrong. Hey, you have a great path ahead of you, and don't you fucking ever let anybody tell you that you don't, or that you can't do anything you want to do. You do it, man. Congratulations. Denisha turned 29, your 20s sucked. Well, apparently your 30s will be like your 20s, but you'll have more money. So, I'm 28, so. Okay, so among the other things, oh yeah, we got to get the interesting topic out of the way. Helvete, I think I said that right. Helvete and Neseblod. Yeah, that burned down. Well, it didn't burn down, but there was a fire in the record store recently. For those who might not know what I'm talking about, that was the record store that Euronymous ran, and that all the bands in the black metal inner circle hung out. Now, there was severe fire damage, but a lot of stuff was just smoke damaged and covered in soot. A lot of stuff was still salvageable. Fortunately, there's a GoFundMe to help get the record store back up and running. And I think they've already reached their goal, but you can still check it out if you want. But that's black metal history. That's why it resonates so much with us metalheads, because this was music that shaped our lives. You know, A Blaze in the Northern Sky was the first underground metal album I ever heard. You know, I still love it to death. You know, that was my first black metal album, and God, you know, just fuck, that rolled. So yeah, just gotta address that. Also, Kiss, they retired, supposedly played their last show in December. Well, they sold the rights to their entire catalog. They sold their whole company. Kiss Incorporated sold their whole company, rights, makeup, publishing, everything, for $300 million to this Swedish entertainment company. $300 million. And the makeup is what pushed the price that high. It's what a lot of these aging rock stars are doing. They're reaching their 60s, their 70s, they're winding down. They realize they only have a few years left on this earth, and they may as well cash it in. That way they can make sure that their great-grandchildren can get into Harvard. And in the case of Kiss, those guys are already stinking rich. $300 million. Hard to imagine what Gene Simmons' bank account looks like now. I just thought that was interesting, you know. And it's weird to see all these legacy bands selling their rights and their publishing, because, you know, so many decades they're over here railing about, oh yeah, the record company stole our rights, we signed our rights away, we were stupid for doing that, we were young when we signed our contracts, and now they're selling their entire catalogs. It's interesting. Change in the musical landscape. Andrew Gabriel, gonna go now. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. The great-great-grandkids of Kiss will never have to work a day in their life. And I envy them for it, man. Anyway. Speaking of money, so I had this major truck repair happen pretty recently. My truck was out of commission for a while. It was, I guess the fuel lines were dirty or something, so we had it in the shop. They replaced the fuel pump, fuel filter, carburetor, and then they cleaned out the fuel lines. Finally, the motherfucker's running right. But That bill was not cheap. That bill was $1,045. Yeah, that hurt. Now, who the hell wants to spend that kind of money on an automotive repair? I'd rather spend my money on useless trash and collectibles. And concert tickets. But, you know, such is life. But, yeah. That happened. And that's why it was so funny when that friend of mine messaged about wanting money for her fucking costume. I'm like, wait a minute, do you know how much I just spent to fix something that was a necessity? And you're over here asking me for money for some bullshit hobby of yours? Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my DMs. Kurt Ramon, do you think if Pierre were still around, there'd be another Carnival show? Oh, hell yeah. Ah, fuck. I spelled it. Okay, yeah, so... What else? Oh, yeah, so I have a new mix of... sorry. I have a new mix of my song Limerence that I uploaded in October. Unfortunately, the mix for that song was pretty muddy, so what I did was I did a personal remix of it. The contents of the song themselves were totally untouched. However, some EQ cuts were made, some multi-band compressing was done, some saturation was added, and now the song actually sounds good. So, I uploaded the song to my Patreon, and sometime in the future, I'd like for the whole world to hear it. Because I think the song is a fucking masterpiece. I still want to make a music video for it someday. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do for 8 minutes in a music video. But, yeah, it's a great song. You know, and now it sounds good. It sounds powerful. It doesn't sound like there's no treble. I think I just overdid the treble cutting the first time around. And there was too much bass. There was too much in the 100 to 300 range. So yeah, I had to taper that down a little bit. Manor King. See you around, everybody. Well, cool. Thank you for joining. You're working full-time and still learning guitar. Well, hey, you gotta do something for your downtime. You know, some people, they're so fucking beat at the end of the day that they just want to sit for hours. You know, you can definitely work on your own projects. You know, sometimes a little nap is all you need. And then after about 30 minutes or so, you're good to go. Oh, so I learned a new funny term lately. You know those days when you just sit in bed, you're not tired, you're just awake, playing on your phone, sitting up, chilling, but you're still in bed. The Scots call it herkle-durkle. Yes, they have a name for that. So every time I'm sitting in bed and I'm just watching YouTube videos, and I've been awake for over 30 minutes, the thought comes to my head. It's like, okay, this is herkle-durkle. This is what the Scots call. Shredman, what do you think about the Slayer shows getting canceled? I'm pretty sure that's an April Fool's joke, but whatever. How Weird KM, what do you think of the new Ministry album? I thought it was pretty alright compared to the last couple releases. It's alright. You know, newer Ministry albums, I listen to them and I forget about them after I'm finished with them. Honestly, just give me Filth Peg and I'm okay. You know? Like, the album that they're going to record with Paul Barker, give me that one. I will buy that one the day it comes out. Hopefully Paul is a songwriter on that album and they didn't just have him play bass on it. Just they can say, oh, Paul's on the album. No, Al Jorgensen needs that push and pull, that partnership, that duo. Hypoluxa and Hermes Pan. That's the Ministry I love. a big important place ended for me pretty recently. So McKay's, I've done many videos on McKay's. Well, where I've mentioned McKay's, and I did one video where I was just shopping at McKay's. It's called How I Shop for Music at McKay's. Well, this place has been around since the 90s probably, and I've been going there for 7 years shopping for music. It's a good place to relax. It's not a big corporate place. It's a good date place and a good meetup place. You know, you can meet up with your friends and enjoy yourself and just wander around for hours seeing all the stuff they got. I've been going there for years, and what they're doing, they're moving to Mebane, which is going to be a bigger store and actually 10 minutes closer to me. So I went there. They had their last day on the 6th. And it was the 6th or 7th. So I went there. I browsed for a couple hours. Did some shopping mostly for a friend of mine. And he sent me money to get him some stuff, some comics, some movies, whatever. And the last thing I ever bought from that store was, well, the last personal purchase for that store was Behemoth, the Metal Mind Years. This has their first 4 releases. Quite happy to have this. And how fitting. I usually remove the stickers, but I won't be removing it from this one. And as I was shopping around, they closed at 5, and at 4:30, they got on the intercom. They said, "Attention shoppers, McKay's will be closing in 30 minutes for the final time. Thank you for years of support." That just broke my heart. Yep, I wanted to watch it close, and that I did. In fact, they gave their shelves away. So they had a bunch of bookshelves and movie shelves and CD shelves, and if you were quick enough, you could have gotten one. I just don't have the room for any of the shelves. But yeah, now I guess they're just moving over to Mebane. And they're going to be opening the new store on the 19th. I will be there. I will be there the minute it opens. Strange thing happened on the way, though. So I stopped at this local free book box. So that way I can get all the free books and trade in whatever I could, so that way I could get some store credit. And while I was piling books into the truck, there was this old couple that was sitting in the parking lot. They were like, "Hey, how do you get to McLeansville?" For context, Greensboro is about 30 minutes from me. McLeansville is on the way to Greensboro. So eventually I just said, well, you know what? I'm on the way there, so why don't you just follow me? So I typed up GPS. I had them follow me to McLeansville. Stopped at the mini mall. And I saw, and on the way there, I was like, well, why am I having them follow me? Is their GPS not working? Well, I stopped, and the husband came out. He was like, yeah, my wife's GPS is acting kind of messed up. So we got to the mini mall, and they were like, well, do you know where Butler Road is? Butler Road. So I typed it up in my GPS. It's like, well, it's 2 miles that way. I'll take you there. So I took them there. And the husband got out. He was like, hey, thank you so much. The GPS messed us up. It took us all the way to Virginia. I said, you're serious? Yep. Okay, well, hopefully you have no issues getting to wherever you're going now. For context, it takes about an hour, I think, from where I am to get to Danville, Virginia. I can't imagine how fucked up does your GPS have to, or your technology skills. Like, what GPS were you guys using? Did you try any other GPS? Were you using Waze, Siri, Google Maps? I don't know. And we got another super chat. 10 pounds, British. Get the damn shirt off. All right, 7:09. At 7:20, goes back on. But you guys get to be the judge of how often it stays on and off. So... But yeah, that was just an interesting part of the day was, you know, I'm over here kind of emotional as it is because this relaxing spot for me for many years was getting ready to close. And I'm over here helping this technologically illiterate old married couple, which may have caused some instant karma, because I mentioned the store credit thing. Usually what I do when I want store credit for McKay's is I'll go to these free book boxes. There are several in my town. I'll grab the books and I'll trade them in, and if they reject them, whatever, they're free. But that usually gives me a couple more dollars anyway. So I get to the store, I park, I start to bring my stuff out, and on the ground, I saw this yellow McKay's tag that they usually put the store credit stickers on. Saw it on the ground. I picked it up, $162. I was like, let me go inside and ask the desk lady if this is still active. I went in there. She said, yep, still active. $162. In addition to the money that I got for the stuff I was trading in. That was a good day. Timing is everything. I suspect that maybe if I didn't help out that old couple, maybe somebody else would have picked it up. I don't know. But hey, that was a great surprise. That was a great way to end my final trip to McKay's. And because I bought all that stuff for that friend of mine, that ended up being the most I'd ever spent at McKay's. I'm not even going to throw it out. I'm just going to, just trust me. We really went out with a bang on that last McKay's trip. Dexy Betrayal, how about another 10 minutes? Are there any other bands on your shit list in the past that you've changed your opinion on? Well, thank you. Thank you so much for the super chats. Keep them coming. This is going to fuel my YouTube paychecks. Okay, so what did I say? 7:20? Okay, so at 7:30, my shirt will go back on. Actually, 7:30 is probably going to be when the stream ends anyway, so. Greetings from Mexico City. Hey, man, how you doing? Okay, so are there any bands on your bad list that you've changed your opinion on? I used to like Extreme. Nuno Betancourt, Gary Sharon, which I listened to that band because of Nuno and his guitar skills and his guitar solos. I had those first 3 albums, and I listened to them a lot at one time. And then I listened to them again about a year ago, and I was like, why was I so into this a few years ago? I traded those albums in, got me something I wanted. It's a weird thing that happens, you know, you're diehard balls deep into a band, and then sometimes years later you listen to it again and you're like, what did I see in this? I'm sure there are a few more bands over there. Like, I got some CDs I'm trying to trade in. Let's see. Do you know about the band Woods of Ypres? Yes, I do. Canada's answer to Agalloch. He didn't answer my super chat question, the audacity. Elliot Chapman. I didn't see a super chat question. Oh, shit. What's your favorite melodic death metal band? Probably At the Gates. I was pretty obsessed with At the Gates when I was a teenager. Since you're focusing on listening to new bands, what are some that you would recommend? For metal, Necrot and Crypto. Not sure if you like Blue Oyster Cult, but they dropped a new LP. They're still making music? Damn. Nice rack. Oh, thank you. What are your best music finds at a thrift store? Yesterday I found Deicide, Immolation, Cannibal Corpse, Sepultura, and other metal CDs for $2 a piece. Damn, that's awesome. Well, I found this Throbbing Gristle DVD box set for about $20. It was a limited edition box set with all the recorded Throbbing Gristle shows that the band had. I ended up flipping it, selling it on eBay for about $100. Those are usually my best finds. Like, I love Throbbing Gristle, but if it's a DVD, I'll watch it once and then it'll just sit on my shelf. So sometimes I'll find stuff at McKay's that they price ridiculously low, and I know that I can flip the shit out of it and make a fuck ton of money for it. There's a L7 Slap Happy I was able to do that with. Recently, it was Melvin's Prick. It was that weird experimental album that doesn't really have any songs on it. I bought it for $7 and I just sold it for $55. Talk about a steal. Oh, DK Jams. The Donkey Kong Country soundtrack, I bought that for $2 at McKay's. Sold it for $100. I shit you not. Now that was a good find. So many great ones. Let's see, other great finds at McKay's. So many great finds. Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper, $20. Great box set. Has pretty much everything I want from Alice Cooper, save for Brutal Planet, because this came out before that. This has the soundtrack stuff, like the Friday the 13th mix of Man Behind the Mask. Also, the songs that were in the Monster Dog movie, like See Me in the Mirror, Identity Crises. Identity Crises! Sometimes I'm James Bond. Sometimes I'm Billy the Kid. Sometimes I feel like Sherlock Holmes. Sometimes I feel like Jack the Ripper. God. Oh. Necro Cenobite. Are there any records you regret selling? Nope. In fact, I still have some records for sale. On account of, I just sold my turntable. So we got Death Peggy, Welcome to the Record. That is Dave Brocky's band before Guar. AC/DC, Back in Black. Excellent shape. Ghoul, Hang 10. I can listen to it on Bandcamp. But now I don't have a turntable, can't listen to it. Skull Axe, Torn from Beyond. Fucking awesome doom metal. Two friends of mine play on it. So, yeah. Some records. Oh, and sort of as a joke, but not really, because I unironically fucking love this song. Tarzan Boy by Baltimora. For those who may not quite know that song. That song. Yes, here I am singing Tarzan Boy with my fucking shirt off and my long hair down. Someone's gonna make fun of me later for this. I know it. Rambling Headbanger. Hearing about McKay's makes me wish we had a record store here in Sunnyside, Washington. Ain't got shit here, let alone a metal scene. In Washington? Well, how far is Seattle from you? I feel like I take a lot of ideas from other bands and use their type of sound in my own music. From all the songs you do, what are some bands that really take after your music? Well, it depends on what I'm listening to at the time. Chains Unbound, I was listening to a lot of X-Order and Bolt Thrower. And also in that case, I was Dystopia influenced there. World in Ruin, I dare say that was a doom metal song. And nobody could get what the song was supposed to sound like. Some people said, oh, maybe Dystopia, maybe Sepultura, but nobody could quite pin down what band it sounded like. Believe it or not, Talking Heads was the main influence for that song, because think about it. The Remain in Light album, that whole album, every song on it pretty much had one bass line, one drum line. Their biggest song, Once in a Lifetime, one bass line, one drum line. I wanted to do something like that, and I wanted to do something tribal. The song is World in Ruin. Dame of Darkness. I was newly single at the time I wrote that song, and you can understand why that was on my mind. I love metal women. I do. They're the best women in the world. The same week I posted that song, fucking Adam Levine was like, oh, there aren't a lot of attractive women in metal. Fuck you, Adam Levine. They're the best women in the world. So yes, Dame of Darkness. This was my love song for all those women. Because I noticed in metal, you know, there's sexy songs about women, but they're usually about strippers and fucking and objectifying and all that stuff. No. Let's just write a love letter, okay? There's even a fun line about ass worship in the song. We must worship the gluteus metalis and praise its beholder. In the case of Downstream, Typo and Agalok were influences, and so were all the darkwave bands I've been listening to for the last couple of years. You know, Lycia, Clan of Zymox, fucking Frozen Autumn, Fields of the Nephilim, whatever. All right, $5 super chat. Thank you so much from Leaf Eater 420. Yo, Killbot, thanks for getting me into Ministry and Skinny Puppy. Opinions on I Hate God and Mr. Mongol. Mr. Mongol's okay. I prefer Faith No More, but I Hate God. Okay, so that was one of the worst shows I ever saw. I went to see Buzzoven, of all bands, because Buzzoven was opening for them. And the thing about Buzzoven, I'd heard all these legend things about their live shows and how amazing they were back in the 90s. And so I was expecting the same thing when I went to see them back in 2018. Well, that lineup had only been together for 2 weeks, and they only had time to learn new songs that nobody knew. So there was no moshing at a Buzzoven show. I was sore about that. Cro-Mags got on after that. I'd never heard a single Cro-Mags song, and they fucking rocked. They made a fan out of me that night. That was really good. And then I Hate God got on, and there was a bad stench in the air before they even started playing, because the band got on, and some drunk lady threw her beer at the fucking singer before they started playing, and that soured the whole band's mood. And meanwhile, their music's like, just slow, boringness shit. I almost fell asleep. I actually sat at the bar and watched them like this. So yeah, terrible show. Thankfully, Cro-Mags were good, so there you go. Manor King, what are some recommendations for someone who's never heard extreme metal? You never heard extreme metal. Okay, Entombed, Left Hand Path, fucking, Carcass, most of their albums are good. Surgical Steel's probably my favorite. Bolt Thrower, any album they have is pretty good, but Those Once Loyal is my favorite. Fucking, Incantation, Onward to Golgotha. Immolation, anything Immolation does is a fucking masterpiece. Origin, yes, go listen to Chaosmos by Origin. Nile, Annihilation of the Wicked. Impaled and Dead, how do you make friends? Well, you go out and you do things. You do things you love. You go to shows, you go to goth night, you just go record shopping. And sometimes I make friends just talking to people online. It doesn't happen often, but if you say the right things to me, and you're not a kiss ass about it, and you're not obnoxious about it, I'm usually willing to talk to you. So there you go. You also got to catch me at the right mood. So AJ Rodriguez, how you doing, man? Anyone here like The Damned? I fucking love The Damned. The Black Album's my favorite. Wayne Wave, love your Ministry video essays. Are there plans for any more? Probably not for Ministry, but I would absolutely love to do one on Skinny Puppies, The Process, in the same style. Because I feel like a band like Skinny Puppy deserves that type of exposure. You know? And some people might say, well, why are you talking about albums that old? Well, there's a reason we're still talking about them. Because they're incredible albums, and they have great stories. You know, sometimes the history of the music is worth mentioning. You know, because I'm interested in music on a historical and emotional level. You know, these aren't fad bands for me. You know, these are lifestyle bands for me. Metal Manic. When you told that story of Adam and Levine on that stream, that was the first stream I ever commented on, September 22. That's cool. Underscore, what's up, man? Long time no hear. Have you heard any Castle Rot? Awesome old school female fronted band out of New York City. I have not, but I've been talking to somebody from New York City lately, more and more. So, good feelings about that place. Also have a family member that's moving to Long Island pretty soon, so. Metal women are gorgeous. Yes, they are. Bet I'm the only person in this chat with a skinny puppy tattoo. Check these out. Well, check this out. So this pendant right here, it's made by E.C. Brown Anomalies. That is the same guy who made the metalwork on Kevin Key's live rig. Sorry. Sorry. Kevin Key's live rig. Okay? So, like, he sent Kevin some Skinny Puppy logos and some CyberActive logos as a care package, and then Kevin made it part of his rig. Well, people caught on to this, and people wanted pendants for themselves. So what I did, I bought 2 of them. One for me and another one for a potential partner I was hoping to be official with at the time before she ghosted me. And now I'm just saving this for the right one someday. We'll have matching necklaces. It will be so adorable and cute. We'll see what happens. I'm optimistic. Rambling headbanger. Nothing wrong with talking about old albums. Sometimes I do videos on old heavy and power metal albums. Yeah. I mean, you have to give the newer bands the proper exposure because they're busting their ass. They need the exposure. But, you know, there's a reason why people still listen to Great Southern Trendkill and Left Hand Path and Deicide and Legion and Effigy of the Forgotten and Slaughter in the Vatican. I feel like more people listen to Slaughter in the Vatican now than they did back in 1990. So there you go. All right, make sure that this is still in good shape. All right. Phone is getting a little warm. Okay, we're at the 90-minute mark, which is pretty good. We made a good bit of super chats, so I'm satisfied with the stream. But we'll see. Dead attack, let there be chaos. Oh yeah. Divine R. No life removes people to give space for better ones in your life. Okay, I think I understand the message you're trying to say. I just jumbled it, or you jumbled it, I don't know. But yeah, that was just... Yeah, she just ghosted me out of nowhere. Like, she admitted to having feelings for me, and then a couple months later, I just never heard from her again. She went on this big trip, and I tried texting a few times, and nothing. Didn't even wish me a happy birthday, so... Yeah, that was... See, that is such a cruel thing to do to somebody because you never get closure from it. You know, like, if you were to just say, hey, listen, I think our friendship's run its course, I have to go my separate way, you know, that would be one thing. You'd at least get closure from it, but no goodbye, no explanation, not even a fuck you. That hurt. But there are better people in my life, and I like most of them. All right. If we meet in person, I'll tone down the crazy. Well, you could have met me in person if you went to Skinny Puppy last year. But with that family member moving to Long Island, I will possibly be meeting up with several people. You know, I met a lot of cool people in the last year or so that's pretty nice. Just got my friend into death metal. I feel like a proud father right now. Well, that's good. Recommend them books too. Choosing Death, The Improbable History of Death Metal and Grindcore is a fucking great book. That's an entryway into extreme metal. It did for me. That's why I highly recommend it to anybody. Anybody and everybody who's interested in metal. Okay, we're at 7:30, 90 minutes. So, I think we ought to be wrapping this up in the next few minutes. And, yeah. Anything anybody wants to say, anything anybody wants to add. It's 7:29, so in one more minute, the shirt goes back on. It's been 90 minutes. Yep, it's been 90 minutes. I know it passes by quick, but it's fun to do. Okay, here's the shirt. So, yeah, so upcoming shows. Swans. I'm seeing the Swans on Sunday. That's going to be excellent. Going to go visit Dave Brocky's grave and leave a rose, hopefully. That'll be my 3rd time visiting him. There's also Cobra Cabana, which I hear is a pretty great restaurant over in Richmond. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Got some friends I'm hoping to meet up with in Richmond. Swans, unfortunately, they're not coming any closer to me, but Michael is singing a lot about death on the last couple of albums. So the man is in his 70s. I better go see him now before we have another David Bowie Black Star situation. Signing off, Killbot. Stay heavy. Well, thank you so much for joining. Okay, it is now 7:30, so shirt is going back on. If anybody wants it back off for the last 10 minutes, now's your chance. We got 10 more minutes. Elliot Chapman, thanks for the videos. Your videos got me into classic death metal, and I'm super appreciative of that, so thank you, you legendary nutcase. Thank you so much. I'm glad that I could share my knowledge of the metal with all you lovely people. Because I sure enjoy doing it. Wow, Clutch Bar. So good. You want some, don't you? Yeah, take a bite of that. Been trying to homebreed Mountain Dew today. Wish me luck. Let me know how that goes. Looking forward to more live streams. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much, Divine. You want chocolate now? It's me. Well, go get you some then. All right, everybody's saying their goodbyes. I'm just wrapping it up in the next minute or so. Yeah, lots of exciting stuff going on. So yeah, anybody who wants to see any of my remaining records that I have for sale, send me a message. And also, I have patches and stickers and shirts and hoodies, Killbot merch. Patches are $6.66. Free shipping anywhere in the world. If you have PayPal or Venmo, I'll make exceptions sometimes. Come hit me up on social media. I will sell you one. I also have them available on my Bandcamp page. There are links to these things in the description. So, what the hell are you waiting for? Everybody's having a good night. Oh, okay, everybody wants to say goodbye for some reason. So, okay, thank you all so much. Grind on. Till next time.